With most home searches starting at Zillow, the first question that comes up is, what does the various status mean? Hello and welcome back to eXp Realty Minnesota. I'm your host, Justin Campbell, and today we're taking a look at statuses on the MLS. Through this video, my goal is for you to fully understand how these statuses work, so let's start with a little background. Agents, through their associations, have what's called an MLS, or multiple listing service. This is a tool that agents use to publish properties to the market. As part of the MLS agreement, there is something called an IDX. The IDX is an exchange of data that happens from the MLS to web providers that offer MLS-related searches such as Zillow or Realtor.com. Individual agents can also license this IDX to create their own website, and those websites will have published local properties for sale. Part of that license allows providers to share certain information and restrict other information. So when you look at Zillow, you may or may not be getting completely accurate information. Some info may be intentionally restricted, and so you're only seeing certain statuses or maybe not seeing the current status of a property. It is important to consider when using third-party applications searching for properties that the sale information is deemed reliable but not guaranteed. That also means that some property information is going to be subject to verification. So when somebody lists a property, they could list it as a 4-bedroom, but when you look at the tax record, it's only a 3-bedroom. That would require independent verification, and that's where the buyer's agent comes in. Hopefully this quick summary of how this information gets into the World Wide Web and gets you to the point where you're understanding that the data that's available on third-party search tools isn't always the most reliable or accurate, and it's also limited to the most recent push. Let's jump into the different statuses you'll see. There's withheld, coming soon, active, temporarily not available for showing, active pending contingencies, pending, and sold. Let's jump into the first status, which is withheld. This status is actually not listed on the MLS as it's withheld. Agents will often refer to this as pocket listings or exclusive off-market listings. These properties are not allowed to be publicly marketed and can only be offered through word of mouth or directly through one-on-one clients. eXp Realty has eXp exclusives, and that is provided by Raven to see what properties are available within our exclusive network of eXp agents. Because of the rules surrounding off-market listings, we're not allowed to see other companies' exclusive listings, and they are not allowed to be publicly marketed. Withheld listings, though, this doesn't limit our ability to find and negotiate on these properties. It just means that they can't be publicly shared and marketed. Jumping into the next status, coming soon. Coming soon is often used to pre-market a property while they wait for some decluttering or stages or a specific date when the home will be available. Agents are not allowed to show the property during the coming soon status unless it would be moved to active prior to the showing. Most third-party sites will include the coming soon status and date, so you will be able to see when that property will be available to tour. Active. This is pretty self-explanatory. This is a property that is publicly available, is open for touring, and is not under contract with another buyer. The next status would be active contingent. In this case, the seller has accepted an offer contingent on financing, inspection, HOA rescission, third-party approval, or sale of another home. I'll break these down in a future video, so be sure to subscribe to the channel to learn more about all the contingent statuses. A small percentage of properties will cancel the contract and relist as active. The number is small and hovers around 10% or less. Generally, the homes are still available to tour, but the expediency of doing so is questionable. I will show these homes on a case-by-case basis, and if they do go back to active status, they can be a great way to secure a contract on a home. Pending is the next status. Pending is assigned to homes that no longer have contingencies and are on their way to close. Even fewer of these cancel, maybe less than 1% generally speaking, and these homes are not available to tour as there's a very limited chance that these homes will go back to active status. If a home does go back to active from pending, oftentimes the seller will be highly motivated, but it's rare, so I don't recommend sitting on the fence waiting for these homes to relist. Sold. This one is every agent's favorite label. That's your client. This status is very clear. The home is sold, closed, and funded. Keep in mind some companies will still promote sold homes and can be a little misleading, but this status should be pretty obvious with a quick scan of the property landing page. The last status is temporarily not available for showing. This is used, maybe there's some negotiations that's happening with the property, or the seller is unavailable for a time period greater than 24 hours. Generally speaking, part of our agreement with the MLS is that if we do list a property, that the seller agrees to allow access reasonable access to the property. And so if they're declining multiple showings, maybe they got a family event or it's a holiday, they can set that property to temporarily not available to show, and that prevents that property from being booked to tour. Thanks so much for making it through this video, and I hope I broke this down in a succinct way. If you have questions or maybe if I missed something, make sure to comment below. If you got value from this video, please take a minute and like the video. And if you live in Minnesota and are planning on transacting, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Thanks, have a great day, and we will see you in the next video.